I'm gonna be starting off by giving you the 4 tips, and these are things that I wish I knew when I first started playing piano way back when. I didn't know these like when I first started, and then when a teacher told me about these, it was like, psh, the lights went on or went off, depending on depending on how you look at it. If you don't know the basics of counting, I want you to check out a lesson here, and let me get that up for you guys so I can show you on YouTube. But welcome everybody. So happy to be out with you today. All right, let me know if you can't see or hear anything in the meantime. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in rhythm and piano lessons on the web into Google, or not into Google, into YouTube. And it should look like something like this. This is like basically what pops up. I want you to check out an old lesson that I did right here, Fundamental Rhythm Explained for Beginners. And then I also want you to check out the best way to count rhythms accurately. So write those 2 down. Watch them after we're done right now, especially if you are not acclimated to counting yet. I'm going to skip that part today. I'm not going to go over all the basic stuff. I'm just going to get on to the 4 tips, which we're going to get onto now. So look up those lessons if you need to. Just wanted to tell you about that to help you out. And tip number 1, of course, is to always subdivide. Now, what is subdividing? Well, let me show you. Just give me a second here, and let me get situated. Here we go. Now we're ready. So what is subdividing? Well, in music you have beats, right? And the time signature tells you how many beats are in each measure. So if you have 4/4, you have 4 beats in each measure. And the concept of subdivision is when you take each of those beats and you break them down into parts, usually divisible by 2 or 4. And we have notes for that actually, which will be our quarter note and our 8th note dividing into 2, and then 16th dividing into 4. There you go. It's a little bit better to show you guys what's going on. Okay, so let's write out our 4 beats that we have. So you got beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the thing is that's a perfect way to count if you're just starting out. However, once you start adding in 8th notes, 16th notes, a lot of students struggle when moving between, let's see, here we go, between quarter notes and 8th notes. Now let me show you. So here on beat 2, we have 2 8th notes. And so we have to figure out how to account for that. Well, let's write in our first write in our 4 beats like we would normally. So there's our 4 beats, right? We have beats 1, 2, 3, and 4 where we would have with those quarter notes. So how do we count the other half of 2 there? Well, I use that by doing and. So technically this measure would be counted as 1. Oh, I don't have my keyword on yet, so I'll clap it. 1, 2, and 3, 4. But what a lot of students do is coming in and coming out of the 8th notes. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll do like 1, 2, and 3, 4. They'll get lost with those last 2 quarter notes because they have been counting 8th notes before. So what you want to do, so what we've done here, that's actually the first sort of subdivision we're going to talk about, just splitting it up into 8th notes. So when you count this measure, and this is where the tip comes into play, you always want to be subdividing, even if you have quarter notes or 8th notes. So what I'm going to do is, now every beat has a number and an and to it. Just keep in mind with the quarter note, you're holding those over for the entire beat. Each of these 8th notes, you just hit on each one of those. You're holding it, holding it. So now you have a little bit more information to go on. You can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Even though I'm still playing quarters on beats 1, 3, and 4, I am still subdividing just so I'm counting evenly through beat 2. hold on guys, let me just check to make sure everybody's doing good. Hello and good morning everybody. Leave a like, but let's continue. All right, boom. So let's do maybe another example here. Let's start out with some eighth notes. And maybe we'll finish out with a half note. How about that? So now the question is, how do I count this measure right here? Well, you know you have one and right away, right? Because you have eighth notes. Two and. Now the question is, how do I count that half note to make sure that I'm still counting it at the same speed that I was counting this other stuff before? Well, we're going to do it by subdividing, like we did just a second ago. Except this time, this half note has to take up an entire beat and then an entire another beat, right? Since a half note is worth 2 beats. So you're going to count this rhythm as, let me see if I can get the piano up here as well. Oh, give me a second, folks. I knew I was forgetting. You ever like get something ready and you're like, I know I'm forgetting something, but I just don't know what. There it is. Okay, so here we have our rhythm now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just like that. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Still, I'm playing the half note at the end there, but I'm still counting the subdivisions. Why do I do that? I said it a few times. It's to make sure that you're counting consistently when you're going from quarter notes to eighth notes, back to quarter notes, maybe to half notes. So interchanging each of those note values is to make sure you're counting consistently. But that's not all. Tell us more, Tim. Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay. We're on to the next part, which is 16th notes. So you're going to run into a lot of instances. So after you learn your quarter notes, you practice those for a while, and that did not work. No. It's not listening to me today. But anyway, you learn quarter notes first, and then probably eighth notes, right? But what if you had 16th notes, which is splitting each note value into 4? That is definitely not what I wanted. Come on. It knows I'm teaching a lesson, so it's not behaving. Question, do we have enough beats in this measure, right? We have beat 1 here. And remember that I said that there are 4 of these in one beat. So beat 1 is just going to be taken up with those 4. Beat 2 here, 3 here. So we still need one more beat. So we're going to finish out this example with 2 eighth notes. Okay, so now how in the world, let me move this line here, how in the world are we going to count this measure? Well, we're now going to subdivide even further. So we still have our 1 and like we would before. That would be like if we had 2 eighth notes there. But we have more notes than that. So we have to account for this part and this part. So we still have our 1 and just like we would before. Except now, it's going to be counted as 1 E and I know that was an A, but you say So 1 E and and whatever beat that you're on. So if it was on beat 2 with the 16th notes, it would be 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and if it was on beat 4. Got it? Good. Now we're moving into quarter notes. That's what they're called. I don't know why I blanked on that for a second. So the question is, there's beat 2, right? Pretty simple. So we got 1 E and 2. How do I make sure that I'm counting beat 2 just like I counted beat 1 without shorting it any or playing it too long? Well, just like before, I'm going to keep subdividing. Except now, 2 E and you're holding over beat 2 for the entire 2E and a. And then 3E and a, that's the same thing. It's hard to write all these in here. And then lastly, with the eighth notes, right? We have 4E, and then the last eighth note's going to take up and a, like that. So we've got our 16th note subdivisions here. We don't have to subdivide here, but we still do. Why? So that we're counting consistently through here and into the eighth notes. I know those little dots are very helpful. Not. All right. Now, let me actually count this through, show you how it's done. So here we go. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and just like that. All right, let me check, make sure everybody's doing good. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. I will answer questions towards the end. Emma is here. What up, Emma? Glad to have you here. Merry Christmas. Happy, well, Christmas is like a month ago already. But anyways, Happy New Year. Sorry, guys. I still got the sniffles today. I was sick a week ago with I think you know what. And I'm still not, I'm like 99% better, but not 100. Anyway, on to the lesson. You didn't come here to hear me whine. Or maybe you did. Okay, so the first tip was always be subdividing. I think you get the idea. Again, if you've never counted rhythms before, check out those 2 lessons that I linked you to or I told you about in the beginning of the lesson. Very, very important because like I said, I'm not going to re-go over all that beginner stuff today. These are just the 4 tips. So we got some more, of course. Let me bring them up. So we got to do it all fancy now. So tip number 2 is, I wish I knew this from the very beginning. I've mentioned this a couple times on the channel before, but it's that notes beamed together tells you what equals 1 beat. So what exactly does that mean? Well, let's take a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow. So here we go. So here we've got our sheet music back again. Now remember, actually, let's just take it back a second. Let's take this example right in this measure, or right in the middle. So the tip was notes that are beamed together equal 1 beat. Well, let's test it out. So what that means is if they're beamed together, those together will equal 1 beat. And that's really true, right? Because we got 2 eighth notes. An eighth note's worth half of a beat. 2 halves together make a whole. So you got 1 beat here, 1 beat here. And then obviously with a half note, it would be 2, since a half note's worth 2 of them. You wouldn't be beaming them together because there's only 1. Let's do the 16th notes. Knowing that them being beamed across, the notes that is, tells you what beat one. Knowing that them being beamed together tells you what note gets 1 beat. That's not what I meant to say. Jeez, I can't get it right. Knowing that when beams are together, that tells you that that group equals 1 beat. There we go. 3rd time's the charm. Knowing that, let's figure out where the 4 beats are in this measure. Now, I know I charted them out, but even if I didn't, I would know that, boom, there's 1 beat there, that one's by itself, that one's by itself, and boom. There are our 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can use that beaming process to figure out, you know, real quick where the beats are going to be. Now, this is true, the things where it's beamed across. I would say true 99.9% of the time. Are you going to see some weird stuff in your music where this isn't the case? Yes, you definitely will. But here is a measure we've never seen before. And maybe you have, but it's the first time seeing it today. And the question is, where are our 4 beats? You always know that the first thing that appears is beat number 1, unless it's some kind of pickup measure. These are all beamed across. So that completes beat 1, which means this must be beat 2, this must be beat 3, and of course, these beamed together is beat 4. You like my red circles? Good. Kind of makes a fist. Anyways, I think you guys get the idea. I mean, I could just keep making more and more of these examples, but that's the way it is. So if notes are beamed together, they equal 1 beat, and you can use that to your advantage in determining where the beats fall. And you can actually use it to also double check. So you can do like we did where with the subdivisions, where you're literally marking out the 1 and 2 andas. But this is like sort of a shortcut to that, and it's also a way to double check to make sure that you have, say you're doing the 1 and 2 andas, and you get to the end of the measure, and you're supposed to have 4 beats, but you only have 3. Well, you know you messed up somewhere. You can go back, use the beaming method to be like, oh, well, these two together, that was supposed to equal 1 beat, and there's my missing beat. So the more stuff you can give your brain to go on to figure out the right answer, the better. So I want to tell you about that. Let's continue on to the third. Let's see if you can see it, actually. I said the third tip, which is use words to count. Say what? Well, I'm going to show you right now. Back onto staff pad. Here we go. Okay, you can use words to count in addition to all the subdivision stuff we gave you. And again, I recommend learning all of these little quirky types of techniques, because again, the more tools that are in your bucket, the better. Okay, so say a lot of students struggle with this rhythm right here. The dotted eighth quarter rhythm, at least if you're a beginner. You've been playing for a while, you know that like the back of your hand. Now there's 2 ways to go about this. You can do it the traditional way, which I'm going to do really quick, by subdividing. Now here's the thing. The question you may have is, how do I know whether I need to subdivide by eighth notes or 16th notes, whether you're using the 1 and or the 1 anda? And I would answer that this way. Look throughout the piece. Are there any eighth notes at all? If there are, you want to do the 1 and subdivision, because that's where your eighth notes are. Are there any 16th notes I'm talking about the entire piece. If there are any 16th notes in the entire piece, you have to use the 1 anda. And the thinking behind that is that even if you have one grouping of 16ths in the middle of a piece, you want to be counting the whole thing in 16ths. So when you get to that measure, you're counting it correctly. If you've only been subdividing by eighth notes the whole time, you might mess up those 16th note rhythms. So just a little bonus info on that. Here we go. That's what we wanted. All right. Yeah. So beats 1, right? And we only have eighth notes here, so I'm just going to do it the 1 and 2 and. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so a dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats, right? And if each of these represents a half, it's going to get 1 and 2. It's going to take up those 3 there. And this will be beat on and. Then you have 3 and 4 and. Now, you're going to... Sorry, guys, I got some sniffly noses. All right, anyway, here we go. Just give me a second. Let me take a drink. Unfortunately, your teacher's only human. Man, it hit me all of a sudden. My nose has been clear all day. And of course, when I'm ready to teach, it's waiting for me. Okay. I know I'm going to get messages. Oh, you're sick. Anyways, let's continue. So you can count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now say you really struggle with that, or you need some more info on how to count that. Well, you can associate words to all these different rhythms. I actually have an entire lesson on this as well. I'll give it to you. I'll give you a link here in a second. But the way I count dotted quarters is you can use the word pineapple with the last pull being the eighth note. So pineapple, 1 and 2 and pineapple. And then you could say cake pops. The idea is to find words that have enough syllables that associate with whatever you are trying to do. So it's going to be pineapple cake pops, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and pineapple cake pops, just like that. So that's how you do it. And it takes a little bit of finesse because you're going to have to find words that associate with each one, and then you're going to have to make sure that they fit right? Because if I didn't use the right syllables on pineapple, it wouldn't have worked so well. So let me show you or link you to a lesson that, let me get over here. Just give me a second, guys. Let me link you to a lesson on how to do this. So sorry guys, I forgot exactly what it was called. Geez, man, I really used to have some weird thumbnails. Count like this. Here it is. I actually think I should redo this lesson. Anyway, let me get you a link to it. Back when 2019. I'm going to link it to you in the chat here. It is called, if you need this, you need to try this if you struggle counting rhythms. And it's a whole lesson on what I just talked about. I'm very blurry. It's a whole lesson on what I just talked about, using words also to count. All right, let's continue on with, I forget, are we on the third or fourth one? And that, number 4, is use a metronome. I could do, in fact, I want to do a whole lesson on the metronome. Basically, using the metronome, showing you that I can use the metronome to increase the tempo of a piece gradually over time. So what a metronome does, if you are unaware, is it keeps the beat for you, or it counts out the beat for you. And you have to have the volume turned up. There it is. Okay, wait, let's get it to here. That way you can actually see what's going on. You hear that? That's keeping the beat for you. Because what happens a lot of times is when you start playing a piece, you might count 1, 2, 3, 4, but unknowingly you will start to speed up or slow down the tempo, and this will make sure that you're playing an even tempo consistently. So just like subdividing is great if you don't have one of these handy. And hey, when you're performing in a concert or something, you're not gonna have one of these clicking away, at least probably not. So this is like a practice tool, whereas the subdividing is like if you're ready to perform, or you don't have the metronome ready to go. You want to be using a combination of the two. But it's seriously, the point I'm trying to get across is the metronome's not going to be during performance. It's just during practice. It's to keep a consistent tempo. It's also very good at increasing the speed of a piece. So say you have a piece that's supposed to be played at 100. You can't see that. 100. 100. 100. 100 beats per minute. There we go. Now it's going to not focus on my face. Oh, there we go. 100 beats per minute. Well, what you would do is you wouldn't start it there because it might be too fast for you. What you would do is you would start it maybe at around like 58 or 60. See if you can play it at that tempo. Say you play through the whole piece, you're able to play it at that tempo, and then you just bump it up a little bit. See if you can play it at that tempo. Once you can play it through at that tempo, guess what? You bump it up a little bit, and then you play it again all the way through. And then once you can do that with no mistakes, you bump it up again. And you repeat all the way up until you get to 100. Sometimes it can take several days to do it, several weeks. The goal is, though, is that when you set it at a number, you have to be able to play the piece through at that tempo with no mistakes. If you're making too many mistakes, you actually got to flip it the other way to slower, and that will help you out. So that's the general idea behind it. I'm going to make a whole lesson just on using this to get something up to speed, and then you'll be really surprised at how effective it is, because if you just try to play something at full speed right away, especially without a metronome, it's going to be sloppy. The beats are not going to be as consistent as they need to be, especially if you're playing something like Bach or anything that requires very steady rhythms. The metronome is your friend. So, you know, students hate the metronome, and I get it. I hated it for a long time too. It's very hard to play with. It's kind of distracting at first because you're focusing on the right notes, right, to play along with this. But I'm telling you, in the long run, it's going to work to your advantage a big time to practice along with this. And there's a big difference between the students that don't practice with the metronome and the ones that do. So get yourself a metronome. I recommend this one by Long Beach Music, which is actually a Korean company. I always laugh about that. And yeah, so I also have a lesson just on this device right here that you should check out. All right, everybody, give me less than a minute break. I have to blow my nose real bad. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go over some announcements coming up, what you should be on the lookout for, and we'll go from there. And then, you know, we'll conclude after that. But I still have some more things coming up. Just give me a minute or so. Okay, I'm back. Did you guys miss me? I know I did. Oh, wait, no, I didn't, because I am me. All right, everybody, let me see what everybody's saying in the chat. We are back. Stand by. Yes, thank you. Hello, Emma. All right, I said hi to Emma. Anyway, let us continue here with some announcements. So happy New Year, everybody. I think this is the second stream since we've been back. Great start off to the new year. I got sick last week, or was it the week before? No, last week I actually started to feel better. So it was actually 2 weeks ago that I got sick, and it was very common cold like. I was more tired than the typical common cold. The symptoms were very in line with Omicron. I did not get tested just because, well, one, the tests are really hard to get right now. So I would have had to jump through a lot of hoops. And when you're sick, that's like the last thing, at least for me, that I'm thinking about. And but it was very mild overall, but it did kind of set me back a bit. I've been more tired than anything. I had like maybe 2 days of a lot of postnasal drip. And then since then, it's just been like kind of like little tidbits of it here and there. But I've been feeling better and better each day. So there is that. That's a good thing. Just didn't start the first couple of weeks like I would have wanted. Another thing is I have been working behind the scenes, even though things have not been perfect. I've been working on redoing the courses over on my website. I just started on it. You know, I'm still have a lot of work to go. I hope to knock out maybe one course per month or so, because I want to. My goal is, so I have the 4 beginner courses: Introduction to Piano Music, the Piano Playing Level 1, How to Read Music, and Music Theory Level 1. Those are like the core courses. My goal right now is to get those done by the end of April or so. So that's about a course a month. I am really spending the time to make sure that these are really nice. Like, they not only are a lot, not only have I cleaned things up a lot, I've actually also am adding some extra material as well. Not a ton of extra material, but there is definitely some added things there. And I'm also making the courses in a way where it will be easier for me to update them. And it'll be easier for you to access them. So stay tuned for more announcements on that. I just wanted to give you an update that I have been working on that. Not as fast as I would have liked with being sick and stuff. But yeah, I want to let you know that I've been working on that. Another thing is, I don't know, just stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. I want to give you some announcements for the YouTube channel. I do want to start putting out the pre-recorded lessons again. I have 2 in the barrel that I need to record. I wanted to record this week, but it just didn't work out. So those you might see next weekend, but you might see them the week after. They're really good, though. I really spent my time on them to make them really good. The whole goal of this year is to put out better content, and fairly frequently. I would like to get to the point where we're doing live streams every week again. So we're probably going to have one again sometime next weekend, somewhere anywhere between Friday and Sunday. I've always been on the fence about making one. I kind of do want to make one day, like Friday is the live stream day. But like I said, I always like to have that flex day. Because if something comes up, I'm not feeling well, you know, the internet doesn't work, we can just bump it to another day. So a little bit of flexibility there, but there will be one next weekend, and then hopefully each week we'll consistently have live streams again. And I would like to also get to the point where I'm putting out a pre-recorded video every week as well. But we're just getting kind of into the roll of things for the new year. And like I've been saying all last year, one of my priorities for this year is to work on those new courses, or redoing the courses so that they are current, they are really polished, and they best exemplify what we're currently able to do here. So, any questions about anything? Doesn't look like it. So anyway, sorry, just looking through the chat here, seeing if I missed any questions. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little stuffed up today. Like I said, I can't really help it. I don't know whether it's a residual of having COVID or whatever I had, because sometimes I have allergies as well, and I do need to vacuum the floor, which does help. All right, everybody, I do want to tell you also, there's one more thing. Maybe we'll leave a little bit early today. We're not bad. We're about 40 minutes in. I want to tell you that over my website, that is not my website. That's not my website either. There it is. Over my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, I have over 20 courses that I just talked about, actually, that will help you learn a lot more, not just about piano, but music theory, ear training, sight reading, anything that you need to become a well-rounded musician, I have for you, and you can read all about it here. I really want to tell you about this because there is a holiday sale going on right now, and it ends just in 3 or 4 days from now on January 20th. So I did want to bring that up. If you wanted to jump on board and pick up some courses at a discount, 20th is your last day, and then if not, you'll have to wait for like the spring sale. Now your question may be, you know, Tim, you just talked about updating the courses. So if I sign up for courses now, like why should I sign up for courses now? Why should I wait? And I'll tell you right now. The advantage of signing up for courses right now is that you will get them at a lower price. However, they are courses that I made years ago, and they show that, right? They're not going to be with like the latest and greatest video setup and things like that, but what's there is still very high quality. But what I want to tell you is that anybody that has signed up for courses before, including now and through when they are updated, will automatically get the updated version. I was going to say for free, but you know, you've already basically paid for it. You'll automatically get that updated version. You won't have to pay any more extra. If you wait, you'll get the updated version right away, obviously, because it'll be done when you're decided to purchase. The downside of that is that the price of the course is going to go up significantly after that. So it depends. If you want to buy them now and just get started, you know, you don't really care if all the video quality is super duper amazing all the time, then jump on now at a lower price, and then as they get updated, you'll get those, or you can just wait for later on in the year when I update a lot of them. My goal is to, because I have a lot of courses, I have like 23 courses. My goal is by the end of the year to have all of the beginner courses and all of the intermediate courses done. So what is that? That's 4, 9, that's like 13 courses, which is about right. Like a course a month or so. Maybe I'll catch a month where I get 2 of them done. But that's what I want to be, and then I'll finish up the advanced courses, you know, probably next year. Those are a little bit more current anyway, because those were the ones that I made most recently. Anyway, I wanted to update you guys a lot on that. Sorry, my nose is really giving me problems, so we might end a little bit. Hello, Jennifer, everybody. Let's say hello to some people in the chat. Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to end it soon. My nose is not doing well. Hello to Jennifer. I want to say hello to all these wonderful people that you can't see. Here it is. All right. Discord. Yes, join my Discord. I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot today, but hello, Jennifer. Metronome, what is the brand you're using? It's just called Long Beach, and it's made in Korea. Just says Long Beach Music on it. I think if you type in Metronome into Amazon, it's, I don't know if it says it in the title. It's a hybrid metronome. It's like digital and it has a slidey thing. But yeah, just look for it. I'm not sure if it has any name other than that. Hello, Sonia, and hello, everybody. Jeremy. We got Emma here once again. Yeah, get yourself a break. You'll be back stronger than ever later. Yeah, exactly. But we will. I do want to have a live stream next week around the same time, so be on the lookout for that. I am on the mend and feeling better each day, so, you know, we'll hopefully continue in the new year really strong. Oh, yeah. I want to say, Emma reminded me by existing and being here. So, man, I need a drink. Hold on. So I started like a new channel entity type of thing last year called Stay Goody. It was like a gaming thing on Twitch, and it had like its own YouTube channel. And I ceased to work on it last year because for like kind of business reasons, because I needed to spend more time working on the piano side of business things, because it's difficult to do another channel and things and pay to have the videos edited if those videos are not bringing in money. So I had to kind of change. I had to kind of like throw it back to the drawing board and kind of rethink what it's going to be about. So in the last few minutes here, I want to talk about what I've been thinking about. Some of you might not care because it's a totally different thing. But I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and what I'm planning on doing that. So I haven't thrown out the idea completely. But what I'm going to do is, my goal for this year is to just stream on Twitch. on the channel Stay Goody and then not really work on the YouTube channel that much unless I happen to come up with like a really good idea for a video, because live streaming on Twitch is free and then putting out YouTube videos is not. Well, it would be if I edited them, and I just don't have the time for that. So, and my goal on Twitch is to get as many followers as I can, get streaming consistently, at least like once or twice a week or so, and then get that making money, the new project Stay Goody. Because if I can get if I can get the Twitch stream, the Twitch channel to make money on its own, I can use that to fund the other YouTube channel, and then I won't have to basically use all my money to fund the two projects, which would be, I found out, like impossible. So I haven't given up on it. I just want to let you guys know that. What that means for you, if you're not into gaming or anything, don't worry about it. But if you are into gaming or you like my personality and you like hanging out with me, stay tuned on the Discord especially. And I'm also going to kind of plug it a little bit on the channel. We're probably going to have like a gaming night or something. Like, it makes sense to me to try to bring some of you guys over to that, the ones that are interested, but not do it in a way that's obnoxious. But anyway, I don't want to spend any more time on it because I know you guys are here for piano stuff, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what I was thinking. I like talking about this stuff. You know, it's projects that I'm involved in, and I like, you know, to do it. So I haven't given up. I just have to go back to the drawing board with it. I think getting the Twitch channel to make money to fund the YouTube channel that's related to it makes sense to me, and that's a way to get around it. Because I actually like streaming, and I'd like to do it in a different capacity where it can be more. I mean, I figured out how to be myself during these streams, but you know, I always try to keep it like somewhat professional, but also to keep things on point, right? If I went on tangents every 5 minutes with this piano stuff, you wouldn't like it. But I'm looking for something to stream on where I can be a little bit more of my authentic self and talk about some other things as well. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Welcome, and I'll talk to you soon. I guess that's all I had to say for today. And yeah, look forward to new and exciting things, everybody. I'm excited about the new year. I'm not very excited about starting it off sick, but you know, whatever. I'd rather, if I did get COVID, I'd rather have it be this variant than the first one, or the Delta or whatever. Which, by the way, hopefully by the end of this year, I don't know, will it be over with? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think it'll be over with. I think it'll be like a seasonal thing after this. Hopefully I don't get demonetized for talking about COVID, but whatever. I think we can all be on the same page that we want this shit to go away. I cannot believe that it's almost 2 years since COVID started. Like, seriously, in 2 more months, it'll be the lockdown. Remember, well, if you're in the States, and they did this other places too, where they're like, we're going to lock down for 2 weeks, guys, and that'll help and save us all. And it turned out to be 2 years. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming. I'm glad you guys were able to come today. Glad to be teaching you. And I will be back stronger than ever next week, hopefully. Anyway, guys, I love you. Have a good one. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody, saying get well soon. I will. Can you upload the whole rhythm tips on a video? Well, this, are you talking about what we did today? This will be a video on the channel. Like, as soon as I end it, there'll be a recording available to you. And even if it's not available right away, check like within an hour or so, and then that'll be back up. So the recording of this will be available if you missed it live. No problemo. And more things to go. And then Vincent says, thanks for teaching even though you're sick. Well, luckily I'm almost all better. Just got a little sniffles here, there. And hopefully we'll knock this thing out of the park. It just seems to like to linger, which sucks, but whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, and I'll see you around.